Okay. It is 5:45. Right, roll call. Chair Reese Adams.
Here.
Vice Chair Mark Gilmore.
Here.
Kyle Conrad.
Here.
Amy Fox.
Here.
Leah Moran.
Present.
Stacy Potash is excused. Unexcused or not present, alternate member Monica Alvarez. And we have Englewood School Liaison Emily Ancona. Councilmember Chelsea Noonenkamp is not present. Staff, we have Director Christina Underhill, Library and Cultural Arts Manager Bethany Lafferty, and Event Supervisor Tony Arnoldy. Thank you.
Thank you. And just a point right now, Julie Parker had to step down. She had a conflict with, she has a new job and she was having conflicts on Wednesday nights. So just an FYI, we're going to have a vacancy that I think we'll be able to fill it.
We're going to see if we have candidates.
Yeah.
Kind of
Okay, that's fine.
qualified candidates.
Yes, right. Okay, great.
That have some arts backgrounds.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, let's move into the approval of the minutes from last year.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Martin. Can I get a second? A second. Thank you. And all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, awesome. No public comment tonight, correct? Right. Okay, great. Not a lot on the new business side. From an old business side, should we go ahead and talk about the t-shirt contest? Hopefully everybody had an opportunity to vote. Cool. Do we need a drum roll?
Became very big in the White House.
Too
much pressure, stop. I'm just kidding.
I let my 4-year-old vote and I didn't agree with him, so I didn't express his opinion.
We took a vote we had a visitor, my husband and the 4-year-old, and we're like, this one. And then it became like a heated debate in the household.
So we'll just go through them real fast and then
Yep.
if you guys want to discuss, you can, and then we'll give you the results.
Okay.
Okay, so t-shirt 1. I think, let me do my feet that way. This t-shirt 2. The difference between 1 and 2 are the placement of Englewood, top and bottom. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 were submitted by the same person. And then 4 submitted separately and 6, or 5 submitted separately and 6 submitted separately. Okay, results.
Yeah.
They're holding their breath.
Come on.
T-shirt 1 had 4 votes.
Okay.
T-shirt 3 and 4. So T-shirt 1 had the most votes with 4. T-shirt 3 and 4 tied for second with 3 votes each. So I'm not sure how you guys want to do the voting. Do you want to discuss just the 1, 3, and 4? Do you want to kind of look at all of them again? And I'm not sure.
Or just go with the one that won? Yeah. Just go with the one that won.
You guys should run elections.
It seems simple enough, right?
Most votes wins, right?
Except for, all right, and Chelsea Noonenkamp just arrived.
We don't have an electoral process for the cultural arts, so.
Shall we recount?
Were there any
That's a
hanging
layer-
chads?
That's a layer of bureaucracy.
You want volunteer t-shirt? No.
Do I want to say anything?
Well, no, I didn't know. I mean, it's your t-shirts and that.
Well, we
so
were
I don't
talking
wanna
before
take
the
over.
meeting, like the t-shirt color we probably don't want white. It gets dirty and looks gross
Yeah.
after a few wears. And not sure if sticking to the green can be tricky depending on the color of the shirt, so.
We thought it might be good to have something like, it's always nice to be like, just go and talk to who, find a volunteer in a yellow shirt or a teal
Yeah.
shirt or whatever. You just kind of stick out a little bit more versus white or black. And everything we do is like in the summer and it's hot, so nobody wants a black shirt. Really,
Yeah, I
you know?
agree.
So that was one of the things that we had talked about. And then,
What would, the logo then would be green.
we do green
So like what colors? would-
print maybe, or we can change
Maybe
it.
black
to-
print, white print.
Oh, it could be black.
I don't
so-
think we're
We
stuck
have
with.
to stay in the
exact-
guidelines,
Yeah.
the branding guidelines.
I don't think we have preference on color. I don't think we chose last year.
Yeah, last year we chose green.
We did?
Yeah. I think we voted on that.
It was like the
I think we voted-
green that you have on your folder.
Yeah. voted on the
Oh,
t-shirt
yeah.
color.
Okay. Are they all like primary colors? Is that,
Not necessarily.
or do we have like
No.
a rainbow of off?
Well, that's all within the
Yeah.
branding guidelines, all of those
Oh.
colors.
And it might be nice to have a color that's not as common as like blue.
Uh-huh.
But it would be like, if you wanted to go with black print or even white print, then we could put on like a different color, a yellow
Right.
t-shirt or
Yeah.
teal t.
I'm just thinking if that's the thing of like talk to a volunteer in this color shirt, it might be nice to have a shirt. that's-
Like purple or orange.
I'm sorry,
I agree.
It, yeah, if
Purple or
it's,
orange?
if you want it to use for the events, then it's nice to have. a different color. So based on those colors right there, there's that.
Mhm.
I think it would look good on that like dark purple,
Uh-huh.
the bottom, the middle one or the far left? The far, or right.
Foundation Trust, you know that one is.
That one?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that with the green on top.
Oh.
With the green on top.
I like that dark orange.
Just me needs to be with an eye. because it looks like it.
But then you are dark for summer if that's matters.
I like that sandy orange. the second
Yeah,
one.
I do too.
The value people one.
Second one from the
Resilient
resilient
leadership.
leadership.
Okay.
I actually like the value.
Yeah, I do too.
Yellow would really stick out.
Uh-huh.
We know where our volunteers are.
I mean, I agree. I like the purple with the green, but if you went with a non-green,
Right. With the white on the
yeah, white.
resilient leadership color.
Do you want to be surprised? We'll try for the two colors and see what we can get as far as t-shirts. Sometimes colors cost more depending on
Oh,
what
yeah.
color you go with.
And summer availability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
a good point.
But I think what I learned from last year is we're gonna do less of the larger sizes and more of the smaller sizes. So that was,
I made that mistake with the band ones because I wear larger sizes, so obviously.
well, I went based off of the other events, then I never had enough of the bigger sizes. And then, but I had a ton of smalls and mediums left over. And then this year it was
It's
vice
what-
versa.
We have guys walking up that are huge, and had like a small, like.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't.
I don't, please don't recommend
No
that.
judgment. Yeah, maybe surprises based on
Those two.
what
See
you
what we
can
can
what's
get.
available.
Or even what you end up thinking is best with the weather.
Yeah.
If it's more important for it to be visible and loud or whatever.
I like visible. We were talking, Lindsay put us all in hats for the Holiday Express. She's like, you can talk to anyone in the blue hat. And you're like,
Worked out
I'm
pretty
not
good.
really taking the hat off. No. But, yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Okay, all right, I will
Do we have the
contact
name of the artist?
Daniel Segura.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wonder if he submitted to something before.
You submitted
Can
last
you
year,
keep-
didn't
He
think
submitted
he did
last
last
year.
year.
Can
Okay.
you send me his name so I can add him to the artist database? And maybe actually send me all the artists who sent and I'll add them all to the database.
If you're gonna be in there, I'm gonna send you a couple muralists too.
Yeah, if anybody has artists, just send them to me. I'll start adding people so we
Okay.
keep getting people in our database.
I hope that's the most difficult decision we make all night, so.
Just wait.
Oh, just wait. Okay, art exhibits in Englewood Public Library.
Hello, everybody. So oops, I'm trying to locate my list. Okay, we came down to, I don't know if the agenda still has the dates from no, I guess they were in last month's agenda, the dates. It's basically starting in April, June, August, October, December, 5 different exhibits. And then I did really like the idea of going with themes. So we'll do a theme for each exhibit and do a call for multiple artists, not just a single artist. So the themes we came up with, are for the April 6th through May 31st, Great Outdoors. June 8th through August 3rd is the summer reading theme, which is all together now. So that's a pretty kind of broad interpretation. And then August 10th to October 5th. That was the one we were going to do the recovery theme, but without Julie's guidance, we kind of thought we would step away from that. So I think we're just going to do steampunk. Do you want to go with steampunk, Reese?
Yeah, I think that should garner some fun submissions.
Okay, cool. So we'll do steampunk for that late summer, early fall one. And then October 12th through December 7th will be found objects. And then December 14th through February 8th will be photography. And then I talked with Tony or emailed with her a couple weeks ago with the date ranges and the theme. So there's just that one update, Tony, from the recovery one being replaced with steampunk, because I was really grateful for the suggestion for sponsorships for the exhibits so that we can plan receptions. And I have to work in conjunction with the youth services librarian for Friday evening receptions, just to make sure that we're not accidentally double booking after hours, because I do want to schedule those as after hour events. So I'll have more details on that to come. And so I guess at this point, the ask I have is just for help to kind of push the word out. I can make sort of like a flyer, or if you guys already have sort of like a template for submission forms that I could kind of run with, because this is not necessarily going to be something where anybody needs to pay to exhibit, but we're not paying them either. It's just kind of a opportunity to exhibit. I would say probably 2 to 3 pieces per artist, depending on how many artists we get per theme, because we don't have like a ton of space.
I know last time you mentioned we probably need some specific legalese in there. So
Oh, yeah.
probably make, the collective we can probably make like a pretty generic submission with whatever additional, right?
Yeah, and Tony kind of
Verbiage.
kicked that off as well for
Okay.
like a contract of forms of sorts for the artists. And I kind of looked through it and noted some changes that we would need specific for the library, and emailed one of the city attorneys to continue working on that with me. And so we could make that as like a submission form plus,
Yeah.
release.
Yeah, release at the same time. And I don't know,
Mhm.
would we have an opportunity to put this in like the Englewood magazine? Where's our timing? Because if the first one isn't until April, we could probably do, February's is probably already called, but, or actually, I don't think I've seen anything for February yet.
Yeah, we're under review right now.
Oh.
So for the next guide, it's probably March 8th. And it comes out quarterly. So the next one we could probably get
Oh.
it in.
Okay.
But we can still, I mean, like, communications can still, it wouldn't be an magazine, but like,
Yeah,
we
no,
need
totally.
like a call for.
Well, yeah, like figuring out both like social media call plus like doing it in print somewhere.
We have our Artists.
Yeah, I think we should do a direct email. It's just, I'm just thinking about this and I'm gonna process out loud. Should it be like an email from me that's very casual, or should it be an email from the city where you
City.
use our database and blast it to the artist directly?
City.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so the correspondence going forward will be from
city,
the city.
that's great.
And the
Okay.
best, I don't know, like, and we can talk offline, but I was thinking, cause I'm putting it, I wanna get it in I asked to have it put in the sponsorship packet to get the sponsors, and I was just gonna go with our basic sponsorship levels and stuff, and then you and I can talk about what that would entail, but how do you feel about that, or did you wanna have a specific sponsorship levels?
No, I don't, well, no, I don't think so, because it's not like we need a huge amount of money, you know, to do each of these. The only other thing, like the biggest monetary need would be for, you know, having the reception and having, you know, refreshments and stuff like that. The only other thing that I know I need in the library is I need to purchase a new set of hanging instrument things, because like we had these plastic rod things and they just all break, and I really want to get these kind of wire pieces that will fit into the things that are already mounted on the wall, and that they'll just be more sturdy when stuff is hanging on it. So that's the only other thing I could potentially think of that we would need to purchase. So again, I don't know, I haven't looked at yet at how much that would cost. So I don't think the sponsorships need to be a tremendous amount.
Okay,
I wouldn't think any more than like $200 each one, tops, if even that much.
so I'm just gonna put it in the sponsorship packet, and then we have a sponsors only section where they don't get to have like a booth and stuff. They can just come and be a sponsor of it, and so they could do anything, like they could do an individual amount, like if say I want to do $125 or whatever. It's not quite a sponsorship level because they start, you know, a little higher, but it's something I can work into a package. So like Craig or Swedish or some of these higher players, bigger players are like, oh, I want to sponsor those receptions because they love the arts or whatnot. So it's just something I can work into the package. So if that's cool with you, I'll just add them in there.
Yeah, I think that's great. I would definitely trust your judgment on this because I don't really know. And like, honestly, this would be the first time we're doing it, so I'm not sure exactly how much we need. So I definitely would trust your judgment for a place to start.
And for previous receptions, our former adult services librarian, she would get donations, like the restaurants would say, we'll cater it. And so that was their sponsorship, was more or less in-kind donation of the food. So that is another angle that's fine to go with as well versus cash.
I was thinking too, like some of the food trucks and stuff will come and do some cool things.
Yeah, be awesome.
But
No wine, sorry.
I don't know, we got a festival permit. I bet the grand would come.
Yeah.
We're supposed to drink it outside.
Yeah, right.
Can I just say, Bethany, I ordered the same display for the high school and it's Walker display. And they have a bunch of options if that's helpful. And
What was it called again?
Walker, Walker. They're out of like Minnesota or something, but they're really helpful and they've got a lot of options. And
Okay,
it's the
great,
same
thank
one
you.
that's downstairs. Yep.
Okay, so just to confirm, we'll utilize like this, were we gonna utilize the database of people you guys have in addition to the city putting out a general call?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think if they did a direct email to artists, like if the city directed it, like, hey, artists of Englewood.
Yep.
This is something we're looking for artists for, just so that they know we're talking to them and trying to.
right.
Urge
Well,
them.
and like we probably will want to include how, like that these will, you know, what the details are for purchase.
Okay, and then I'll work with somebody in communications maybe to like design what it will look like with something catchy, so that we can have it be something printable as well as something that can be, you know, sent out electronically.
This one and take
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Good topics too. I mean, good themes. I like those. Okay, murals. Stacy was going to do some research, but she is not here tonight. So do you have anything that you want to add?
No.
No? Does anybody have any mural thoughts? So we kind of left off last time thinking about perhaps taking 2023. There's a big ask for murals, whether it's from the chamber, from the city, us, and
Businesses
I'm sorry.
and businesses.
And businesses, yeah. And trying to figure out a way to bring everyone kind of together in 2023 to probably piggyback off of murals and mason jars. And at the same time, probably getting some, at least maybe 3, if we were thinking like, okay, well, let's say we dedicate one to Mally and one to, I don't know, another wall that we identify, and then do a $5,000 grant or something for a business to apply. Then we have a couple that we can do maybe on city facades, plus involve a business, but then, kind of help the chamber with that event as well. I don't know how to put that together yet in my mind.
We're talking like Boulder did a call for mural artists. I doubt they'll share their list.
Well, we do need to start, because I know we talked about that last meeting.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to start.
Just do a call for artists
For
for murals.
murals specifically, because we
Local.
can't do the murals without the artists, and our list right now is pretty.
Yeah, it'd be nice to build the list up.
Well, and I think it's bigger than what we think it is, because like when I met with artists, I learned that too about our muralists as well, but that's not the information they gave us.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you do that specific call, maybe they'll.
Yeah, like for instance, Lexus, who did our watercolor painting she's a muralist, but she's not on our list as a muralist. So
Oh, that's good to know.
I feel like there's more people out there. We just, like, sometimes what they gave us is their main art they see themselves as, but they do murals on the side,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I think there's more on our list than we know, and
So
I
should
think
we
there's.
send an email to the list and just say, if you're a muralist, please let us know?
Yeah, I think to the list, and then I think a call to Englewood, because I have a feeling there's a lot more muralists in Englewood or Englewood adjacent who would want to be on that list. We just don't have them identified on our list.
I wonder too, if you just talked to Lindsay Runyon at the chamber, if she would have ideas just to brainstorm. I've been thinking you guys seem to be sponsoring like a live mural painting during Mason Jars, this year. And like something like that could be really interesting. And maybe it's something that, a business can sponsor or.
Yeah, I mean, so full transparency, Kyle and I met with her.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we talked to her because she's getting a lot of requests, and one of the biggest ones that has come up, I think we talked about last time, was the backside of the Felt building across from the Devil's Head. It's huge. So that wouldn't be something that I think we could wholly fund, they could wholly fund. But I mean, a part of it maybe, and it could be a sequential or something, but right, exactly. I think during that, it would be really cool to have at least one active mural, if not a couple.
Or even, is there a way to do like a community engagement piece? I've seen a mural painting where it was like certain sections where anyone could come and paint on it,
We
right?
did that once. Across from Brewability on, what's the restaurant?
Zomo.
Zomo, yeah. I think there was a community painting.
And that actually might
That
be,
was students.
Was it
Yeah.
students?
Yeah,
Okay.
but the one in, that we just did over on, the ground mural. Yeah, that was like a community thing because, and Meg was the one that
Right.
like put that all together.
and the rec center, didn't you say the rec center wanted something?
Inside, yeah.
I mean, that could be kind of a cool,
It's a big wall.
it's a
They
big
just
wall.
sent me the specs.
Oh, yeah, they're working on the specs of what would work there, so.
I mean, that would be a neat, and you could do it any time of year.
Could be a fun like CAC project.
Give them a little spot with a cohesive theme.
20 by 20.
20
How much?
20.
20 by 20 in the center of the lobby, the rec center.
Big. Yeah,
Yeah, it's big.
it needs to fit within that space.
Yeah.
There's cinder block walls.
But I mean, even for something like that, we'll need to identify an artist who can at least design, oversee is not my forte. That'd be cool. That would be really neat. What's the ETA for wanting to get that done?
Well, we don't even have, they have the idea.
Yeah, I think probably like fourth quarter this year, there's some
Okay.
renovations that may happen there in the lobby and it may occur either during or after those renovations are complete.
Well, that would probably be okay because fourth quarter was, isn't Murals and Mason Jars in mid-October?
It's like, it was like October 17th.
Yeah, so that would be, timing wise, might be good. All right, well, I guess at this point, is there anything we need to figure out other than just getting the call together?
Just need to post on all our social medias. Hey,
Yeah.
muralists, let us.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
like getting them in our database.
Do you need help with that? Or do we need to talk about that offline or? No.
I'll reach out if
Okay.
I've got questions or.
Okay.
Murals and Mason Jars was on October 8th of this year,
What was it?
on October 8th.
October 8th, okay. Okay. Hampden Median Art. Anything else on murals real quick before we? They haven't been median art. So, good news. We talked last time, we have like, okay, last time we have like 130 submissions. The large portion of them are not like qualified submissions. So I went through what we have and I reduced it down to size, our size requirements, our budget requirements, and and I omitted artists outside of Colorado and outside the United States because there were those as well. But that being said, we probably have, gosh, maybe at least a dozen of unique options and well under budget. So I'm not as like, last time we talked about, because we pay $2 or something for every submission. And that was getting a little scary with the influx of submissions that we were getting. And regardless if they qualify for our post, we still have to pay the submission fee. But since we're coming in at a good price point, it doesn't scare me as much to leave it open a little bit. But we haven't yet reached out to Englewood or Englewood Artists. So I know we talked a little bit about perhaps closing the call early because we were getting a lot of submissions, but I think, we talked on our last meeting and it was kind of abutted the holidays, so we haven't gotten anything out from comms yet for the Englewood communication piece, but I think we should leave it open a little bit longer. And we don't have an artist from Englewood yet. We have, I think I have 3 or 4 in here, Colorado artists, each of which have submitted multiple pieces. But I think it would be neat to get an Englewood artist if we could, or a couple, but honestly, we haven't advertised it yet. So I think once we do that, maybe by next meeting, we'll have a better.
I think if we're getting ones that are under budget too, we should leave it open because we can make up the difference if we had to.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because some of these that are under budget, like we're talking, we might be able to fund like 2-3 pieces,
Okay.
like for our total budget. So we might be able to do a lot more than what we had initially set out to do. So
I'd like to see if we can get some Englewood people to apply and reach out.
So
Yeah.
our communications department is ready to send out. I told them to hold off until you guys talked tonight on how you want to proceed. I didn't want them to send out something and then, you guys decide to close it early and that only
Yeah,
gives artists.
totally.
When they do those communications, I mean, they're just doing it on social media, but do they direct it to Englewood or to Colorado or just broadly?
Or
Or is it
it
just on
could
it?
go to Nextdoor, to Facebook, Instagram.
But are they paying for advertising or just putting it on the page?
I don't know if they'll pay for advertising on this one or not. I think we can if we're finding we're
yeah.
not getting anything new. Maybe we do a targeted ad.
Yeah, that's what if we could just target Englewood to try to get some, because if we're getting people from outside, that's awesome. It'd be nice to get, because there were people who were inquiring about it.
So because we went through Cafe, the artist that I I kind of like, it felt like they were, the ones that submitted are used to submitting via cafe. This is like full-time, we're making, you know, sculptures for this purpose. And so I think this was like really, they were used to it. So if there are local artists who are qualified, but they may not have used it before, then I think it would be good to reach out like directly.
I send it to the same, like if communications has the post, then can we just copy the post and send it to
The list.
the different lists
Yeah.
that we have?
Maybe even more than once. They might ignore it the first time.
Just keep sending it
So
until we get the
the
results.
music release rule is people have to see it 10 times before they buy a record without having heard it before. Something crazy.
Okay, but that's where we kind of stand. I mean, we've got some good, I mean, there's some, I kind of printed out the bios and then for each bio, what we've got, and I can actually email it out, but I just wanted to print it so we had like a visual, but yeah, I'll add to it for our next meeting. Are we good there?
Question, we may have discussed this in a previous meeting. Are you guys concerned about weather? Like, is there a time of year when this needs to happen, the creation and installation?
Well, the piece is supposed to be weather withstanding, so
It could go in whenever,
I
probably.
can go.
We'll have to permit through CDOT to get access, but that's what's gonna hold up the process. We'll get the art, we'll have it in here, and
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait until CDOT
And
approves.
the
So,
concrete pads are theirs.
yeah, everything's installed.
And remind me how many there are? 4?
3.
3?
3, yeah.
I only found one of the concrete pads. I think the others are buried.
You didn't walk it, did you?
I didn't walk in the middle. I walked on the on the side
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna go over there, but it was too scary.
That's
I was like, oh my gosh. So much traffic here.
They might bury it in the mulch.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah.
But one of them's really visible.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. Okay, next up is the Studio Art Tour Subcommittee.
I don't have a lot right now, except that I want to meet with the subcommittee and kind of shift a little bit after meeting with the chambers.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of momentum right now, I think, behind the murals.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think our goal with the Studio Arts Tour and kind of 2022, 23 was re-engaging artists. And I don't want to speak out of color here, but I don't know if 2023 Studio Art Tour, if we're ready for that. And especially when we have so much momentum already going into something that's more organic on the mural space, then maybe when we have a better, I don't know, better base, I want to say, and kind of a little bit more defined picture of what it might look like to do a Studio Arts Tour. We're just not getting like the feedback, I feel like. Am I?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Like having met with the chambers and kind of trying to figure out what sort of business support we would have, I just feel like a Studio Art Tour is going to take a lot of commitment from a lot of partners, and I don't know that it's there right now. That's not a bad thing. I think it could be there in the future. But with that being said, we do have a small group of artists here who I think we could support. And I also think the murals and jars that's already happening could be something that we could support more robustly, especially if we want to get these bigger mural projects going. And so I kind of feel like maybe it looks more like an open house during that murals and jars, again, like what we did last spring or something along those lines that supports that event, but brings out artists again. Maybe if there's murals going on, we could have some artists trying to sell their stuff, but
Yeah.
I feel like it may have to look different just based on like what partners need in the community and where everyone's at
I
in
think
the
that's fair.
community. But that's just me kind of meeting with different groups and feeling like that's.
I think that's the feeling I've gotten too.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Devil's Head event, there were a lot of artists there that, I mean, we could find space for or pop up or something alongside murals and mason jars that might be able to you know,
Yeah,
kind
I
of
just think-
kickstart a little bit.
We already have this one event and maybe there's a way to partner more robustly to support that event that's already happening. And if we have these goals of all these new murals around town, it just feels like that's where we should head. Like, we should be
Block party.
supporting those, yeah.
And you can attach anything to any of the events too. I mean, we have
Right.
several different markets and a lot of different events that happen all year. So it's always something that we could just add an activity to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I feel like too, the artists who came the couple times, they just want to have a place to sell their stuff. So like, to me, it's like, I could just put them in touch with you and they could be at your
Everything.
market. Yeah, like, yeah, they could be at a lot of places. So I mean, like cause just the resources, like when I've done the research, just this is gonna cost a lot to really have a big event. And then you really have to have a robust business district behind you, you know, to get the people you want, get the big names you want. And so,
And a lot of these events are put on by nonprofits.
yeah,
not
it ends
some-
up, it ends up spinning, like nonprofits run them because it's a year-round thing to get a big event put on. So I also think there's a reality to resource limitation here. But with that being said, I think there's a lot of potential with the murals that everybody wants here.
Yeah.
And how do we support that with the artists we have in our community to make something just pop for the community? I don't know.
Seems like based on all the things we've talked about tonight, that what Englewood needs is like an artist newsletter.
That's what I keep thinking, like some way to target our artists more clearly because, like I've been trying to communicate, but I think if it's gonna come from the city, there should be something clear.
And I guess I'm not sure what that looks like. It could be, it could be a
Yeah,
private
and maybe
thing.
like twice a year, like not in every
Well,
month.
But I would think, because there's so many opportunities that we had some kind of monthly newsletter.
We already do an Englewood monthly newsletter. We could probably like in format, do something sort of similar, because we haven't, do you want to talk about like a new landing page where you want to maybe? Yeah.
Debbie's got a surprise for y'all.
Yeah, give a surprise.
But we could do almost like a separate page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Yeah, and I guess I do some of that just for my music stuff. So I don't really mind just to put all of that information, like and have it sent out to our list every month of like, there's a lot of opportunities. That if our problem is that we're not communicating well enough.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even quarterly, because
That's
I'm
exactly.
thinking more quarterly.
Yep.
I don't know if we have enough every month, but it feels like quarterly we have enough.
But I think like even if we just had it on repeat of like, this is still the stuff from last month, but it's still the same, because we have the events every month. I don't know, I just like
Here's what's coming.
more is better.
thing.
Yeah, like I know we have nothing really new, but here's this stuff again. 'Cause-
Submit your idea.
Yeah, because not everybody clicks on it on Friday morning. Doesn't click on it.
Well, and I think the newsletter too, if it is to be a newsletter, what I'd like to see is just a really clear, like, here's all the projects, how you can submit, giving them that, because they're getting, like, we're all getting the event, like, we know Tony's events because they come through
Right.
Englewood, so I'm not sure that we'd be doubling up, but the targeted, like, here's where we need you to submit for murals or whatever the thing is, so they know that the potential work they have doing.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes it's hard, I feel like if I was an artist, like to sift through all the stuff.
Yeah.
If there was just one place, even if it
Yep.
was redundant.
Yeah, or like, here's that, we need musicians this month for.
Yep. Yep. So do you want to look at the landing page real quick?
Does that work?
Yeah. Do you want to introduce it?
Jar Mural.
Yeah, Debbie can talk about, she's been working with communications to get this up, so. Like,
Let's see. So, I met with communications to talk about creating a new landing page for the Cultural Arts Commission. And, she has created a draft. Let me see if I can,
Look at that.
Yeah.
Snazzy.
it's kind of, I don't know how, let's see. Is there a way to reduce down? So the 4 boxes would be across the top. We can change anything, anything we want on the box.
Mhm.
This is just kind of a draft, kind of some ideas. So I talked to her, I wanted to do something with projects, something with events. One that linked to the board's meetings, and agendas, that type. To contact, the commission, to sign up, through email. And we are updating the email over to a city email that will be like cac.englewood@englewoodgov.org. And then that email will come to me. I'll monitor that email and then forward out to, whoever I need to.
I think this is a cool space to do, like, what we need, like, current opportunities, current projects. And also, I know this is like going blast from the past, but we've talked about geo mapping.
It's
And-
in progress too.
And so being able to say, okay, well, what is it within the CAC collection? Where can you see it? Click here and beep,
So
beep, beep, there,
we
map of
do-
Englewood.
I reached out to our IT department, to the staff who does GIS. And he replied back that this is a great opportunity for a storybook.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're setting up a meeting with communications, and.
Oh, this is great.
It's been on their radar for about a year and a half, but other projects have kind
Yeah.
of taken precedent.
Totally.
So now they've kind of finished some of those projects and now this can begin. I don't know how long it'll take once we take it on to do, but we'll keep you updated. If there's things we need from you all to help us with,
Yeah.
pictures, whatever, we'll let you know, so.
This is so great. Even when I was like trying to communicate with artists, like where to go, like I would go to the webpage and I'm like, go to here.
Like a
Yeah.
one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Current
But as you're
calls.
talking about, kind of the page for the artists, that we can link something on here. Just, where we can direct them to that page, or they can, go to that page for information.
Perfect. Yeah.
The other thing, kind of as we're talking about social media, I was kind of looking at other cultural arts commission web pages to see, most of them were very much what our old page was. But I did see on a couple of them that they had, I think the library does, kind of the social media posts that kind of just.
Oh, loops.
So I will ask them to do something like that,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
This is awesome. Is there a way that we could put a box on there that just says current opportunities?
I think there is one.
Is there one? Is it?
for.
Oh.
Do you want a label such as?
I just like a box right there that like, like we have the mural, are you a muralist?
Okay.
Contact us. Are you, media and art call is posted,
Okay,
Wow Cafe.
Or maybe not even a mural artist, like maybe it's like are you an artist? So we're just collecting artists. Like if we have a
Yeah.
friend and we're like, go to our webpage, submit,
Are you interested in displaying it?
Join our artist
Events.
community.
yeah, join the Englewood Art.
Like a really
Community.
robust type form with like, what
Yeah.
types of art and how long have you been doing it? And where is it on display? Like you could get a lot of data.
Mhm,
that's exactly what I was just
Mhm.
thinking too.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll have communications build a form
mhm.
where they can put in
Mhm.
there. Okay,
Because then I think any of us, if we have a friend or somebody, we're like, hey, come join, go to this page, really, be so nice to direct people so that we get
Okay.
accurate.
But I think especially if we're gonna focus on murals this year, like mural opportunities.
Yeah.
please contact us.
Yeah.
Is this a beta site? Can that be shared, like where we could, or,
do you want me to have her kind of add in this, and then we can, before we go live?
yeah, I mean, I think
Nice.
I would say like, we could probably add, are you an artist? Like artist contact, collect that data, current opportunities,
Okay,
projects, ongoing projects. Or whatever, projects in the works or something.
Or she could, if there's a button that all of that could be in, I don't know what
and
that button would be called,
Yeah.
but.
Lucia may have an idea how to
Because I don't think we need to necessarily link like the Swedish horse anymore.
No, and my thought was doing that under projects.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So even the outside the box.
Yeah.
Would be, you know,
Mhm.
through projects.
But also an opportunity because we still have a way to apply
Yeah. And then events,
events.
you know, where they can, and then we are looking at doing some type of photo album where we can do the art, that, like the median art or some, you know, something like that. Whether we do that in addition to the storybook.
Yeah.
As I was saying that, I thought that would almost fall within that
It's a story,
storybook. So,
yeah.
yeah, maybe
Awesome.
let her know not to pursue that for this site.
I think that's fine.
You're talking, like, the storybook is kind of like how they captured the stories of building the schools in Englewood, right? Like,
So it's on GIS and I've seen, I don't know if it's, I haven't looked that closely, but like they'll go down Broadway and you'll have Zomo and you can slide across and it shows you what Zomo used to be in 1940 or whatever. So it's kind of along those lines. It's more interactive
some more.
GIS. You're on a map and you're like, oh, there's art right there, and you hover over it and it pops up whatever the art piece is and has a little information about the artist and what the piece is all about. So
That's cool.
it's much more interactive than just a picture and the location underneath it.
Yeah. Told the Historical Society about that, they'll be real excited.
We'll get this one done first.
Oh, that's really cool.
So we'll do kind of a draft. I'll send that out, have you guys look at it before we go live. Anything you want to, you know, change on it or
That's awesome.
have any other ideas, let me know, reach out.
Thank you, guys. Thank whoever was working on this,
That's
Lucia.
all Debbie and Lucia. Yeah.
She could do a fillable form too, like if by the next meeting, if we wanted to have like a draft or whatever, and they could be like, ooh, can we add that or whatever? Like for our questions.
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
We'll
Have
have the form and then you
yeah,
guys can give it.
free text to,
Yeah.
what are your specialties or something?
Mhm.
Okay.
Awesome.
Right, that's,
Thank you. Man, we're moving on up. 2023 events.
Yeah, sorry guys, I was gonna bring, but we're still kind of in transition, but we have a lot. I'm super excited. And I'll have that list and I'll have it by the next meeting or whatever, but would you guys prefer to have a list of all of the events, or do you want ones that just seem all of the events and you guys can kind of pick and choose
Yeah.
from them?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we'll want to identify music opportunities and be able to start planning, yeah,
And budget. for
and
the
budget
events,
for, yeah.
the events you want us like party and Christmas.
Just give us the whole thing.
Both things.
Sort through it.
All right.
And actually, if you have that before the next meeting, do you guys want to maybe send it out?
Yeah, I mean, I have it. I just didn't know, like,
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to get direction more from you guys of what you want. I didn't want to send you a list of 40 events and to be like, oh.
Oh, yeah, no, that's okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
I have a list of all of the events in the city and I have the list of events. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So
Sure.
there's a whole lot going on. So you will not be bored in Englewood in 2023.
Great.
Great.
Okay, cool. Staff's choice, anything?
Nothing, for me, we've talked about.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a busy year. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for this
Yeah.
commission.
Anything on council side?
We're interviewing new members, reports and commissions on our next meeting. So please.
Next Monday.
soon.
So tune in, see if you can be on this board.
If there's an artist, that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know if is anyone up for
We will have an opening. I don't know when we'll be able to fill it, but we could probably, I'm gonna speak for myself, but I think we could probably use somebody in the arts community. Either by,
Visual art.
visual arts.
and we can put that on the website.
Yeah.
Too much
like,
opportunity.
glad you're not excited about that.
All right, commissioners, nothing on my end, anything else from the rest of the commission, or I'm sorry, anything on the school side?
No, not right now. Yeah, just that we're open to murals
Okay.
and it's free labor.
They want to do the skate park.
Oh, yeah, the skate park.
They would probably love this.
I would think so, yeah. Okay. Well, the weather's bad right now, so let's talk maybe early spring, before they graduate or move on this summer.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, before they graduate.
Yeah,
Maybe like
because parks can fund that. We can buy the materials.
Okay,
And if the students want to come up with the art, we're open to that.
okay.
We should also ask the
Okay.
people that skate.
I know I should just stand out there with some cans and say spray paint.
It's free.
Talk about community engagement right there.
Yeah.
Anything else? Leah, anything on your end? No. All right,
Oh,
well.
sorry, yes. Swallow Hill is interested in a crosswalk, but it's complicated because Swallow Hill is in Denver, but their parking lot is in Englewood.
We're only gonna put that, I'm just kidding.
And
Well,
so-
and it's gonna be, because,
So
well,
there has to be coordination between the two cities because they want it to go across Yale. And I thought, well, maybe the creative crosswalk might be a way. They've tried this before and it's been really complicated.
So there's no crosswalk
No
currently?
crosswalk across Yale and
And,
everybody parks in Englewood on the Englewood side and walks across Yale.
and it's scary. I walk across
scary.
once a week with my 4-year-old and it's like dirt and traffic across that.
So
because they want-
Denver would have to approve the crosswalk.
It has to be both. That's the thing. Denver has approved it in the past, but then they've had trouble with Englewood or vice versa. But I thought, well, maybe if we do a creative crosswalk. Anyway,
where does the border like actually stop?
I
I
don't,
mean, where does Englewood,
I don't
is it
know if
on
it's
the,
on the south
on
side.
the south side or the north
I
side?
think we maintain Yale, do we?
I'd have to ask Public Works for sure.
Probably on one side.
Like, I mean, Yale's the dividing line, but as far as we think about like responsibilities for things like plowing,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we do, yeah, but I could be wrong on that.
That doesn't tell me. Anyway,
wanna find
that's
out?
just something.
The top black line is, yeah.
Let's find out we have half of it, so we'll have a half crosswalk and then a regular crosswalk, so a cool one and a regular one in Denver. We'll find
But
out.
I mean, that is an interesting point, because if we don't maintain Yale, then it would be all Denver,
Right,
right?
Denver, yeah.
Some of it though, because I know the police respond to some of it.
But that's mutual aid, so, right?
But who,
No.
Not
but
if
are there any split streets? I always assume that some of them were split now. Like Zuni, is Zuni split between Denver and Englewood?
Oh, yeah.
Because like Zuni, this last time I drove up there to meet a friend, it was like, it was plowed on one side and the other side had no plowing. And I was like, this must be the Englewood side. And that must
Or
be.
the truck just had to turn around.
I don't know. No, I've never.
I don't think it's the street,
Oh, the signs.
signs, the street name signs,
If
Oh.
it's-
See what
good
color
point.
they are.
but I'll check with Public Works.
Well, anyway, I just, if we can do that, I know they're really interested.
Do they want to do it across from where the parking lot is, or they want to do it at the intersection of Yale and Broadway?
No, at the, where the.
Yeah, parking lot, yeah, okay, that's what I figured.
And I mentioned to him like, well, there's opportunity for creative crosswalk. Anyway, I'll talk to him, but
All right, well, I say we adjourn, yeah?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good job.
Yeah,
Thanks, Lisa.
perfect.
I printed this, you want to,
Yeah. I just have a look at that.